Hello, everyone. Welcome into another episode of the Four Quarters podcast powered by Four Quarters Media. I'm your host, Tyler Bennett, here with you once again. This is part 2 of episode 10 in season 2. We pushed it back a day. This was originally scheduled to come out July 2nd. Schedules and quarantine slowly ending and things starting to open up had a shift in some schedules. So we pushed it back a day. Part 1, which came out on Thursday, was with one of the newest members of the Nipissing Lakers men's basketball team, Mukhtar Muhammad, transfer from the old college Broncos in the ACAC. And then in part 2, the reason why you're here listening to this one right now is with one of the newest members of the Mount Royal Cougars on the women's basketball side in forward Sierra Peck, transferring to Calgary and Mount Royal from the Algonquin Thunder in the OCAA. Interesting chat with Sierra here in part 2 of episode 10. We looked at her career at Algonquin over 3 years and how the team has progressed in those 3 seasons. Went from a bottom 3-4 team to finishing 6th at provincials to finishing 4th this past season, narrowly missing out on a bronze medal in a loss to Humber in the bronze medal game. Looking at how her career has unfolded so far, what led her to Algonquin from Prince Edward County, which I didn't know anything about until I Googled it, all about its wineries. So we talk about that as well off the top. And then we look at the controversial name change rebrand process that the Algonquin Students Association facilitated, and how they're transitioning from the Algonquin Thunder to the Algonquin Wolves and the conflict behind it all. And then we look at her transition to the Canada West, Mount Royal, what led her to commit to the Cougars over some other institutions, what she's most excited for, the Canada West level, plus the U Sports level from an academic standpoint, and what's next for her career. We have a discussion on women's professional basketball in Canada and around the world to close things off. So start to finish, great chat learning more about Algonquin, the name change from a student's perspective, and what's next for Sierra as she moves on to the next chapter of her career at Mount Royal. So with that said, let's jump right in to part 2 of episode 10 in season 2 of the Four Quarters podcast powered by Four Quarters Media with one of the newest members of the Mount Royal Cougars women's basketball team, Sierra Peck. Enjoy. All right, so I'm now thrilled to be joined by one of the newest members of the Mount Royal Cougars, forward Sierra Peck. Sierra, first off, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to do this. I know it's a long day at work. How are things with you on your end?
Things are good. Things are busy, starting to get back to normal, but still a little hectic and all over the place right now.
Are you back at home now in Prince Edward County? Is that correct?
No, I have a full-time job in Ottawa.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of the summers and just kind of go home at Christmas kind of thing. So I've been still in Ottawa.
Okay.
The quarantine.
Still close enough that you can go home and visit, but far enough away where you're removed and you have your own solitude, if you will.
Yeah, I need to go home. I got 2-hour drive and it's easy, but other than that, I got safe.
I'd be honest, I had no idea where Prince Edward County was until I looked it up.
So
there's a lot of wineries.
Yeah. It's pretty much wine country.
Okay.
And then there's also like Provincial Park, which is like a big, nice beach. That's pretty much what Prince is known for is the wine and the beach.
It looks like wine, food, and beach, which, I mean, that's all you really need in a summer.
The greatest combination to grow up with.
I can imagine. And, like, it's small, too. It's like, 25,000 people? Like, it's not big by any means.
Yeah. Mostly tourism in the summer.
So that keeps it interesting. And then like you said, having a beach and wineries and food. You don't need anything else at all.
Yeah. Not in the summer.
No, those are
Pretty much.
the necessities, and then if you have a boat, then you're a bit ahead of the game. But
That's above and beyond.
just bare minimum, just take what they give you, and you're fine. That's all you need. We're going to kind of work through your career, kind of look at your time at Algonquin, and then what's ahead at Mount Royal, and kind of worked in the Instagram questions as we went, and there weren't any outlandish questions that you thought may come through. So that worked out.
Thank you.
Dodged a bullet on that one, so that's good. What are some of your best memories from Algonquin?
Best memories, definitely this past year. You always just get along better with certain teammates, or like just have certain years that just everything kind of clicks.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was the year for me, this year was that year for me,
mm-hmm.
because I feel like my first year I was very not prepared for the college basketball lifestyle. Like I was way over my head going into it, and I feel like that was more so just getting into like school and the level of basketball playing, and just like being in a new city and everything. And then second year we had a lot better team. I don't know if you know the difference in like skill level from our first year to our second year.
Mm-hmm.
But my first year we were bottom 3, 4, I think. We weren't doing well. Mm-hmm. But second year we went, I think, 15-1.
Yeah.
The same as we got this.
Mm-hmm.
So it was nice. We were actually like thriving as a team. We were doing well, but I think I still was like not completely like 100% into like my play. And I think just this year, like my play evolved, and I loved all my teammates, and we like succeeded as a team. So
and
just this year, the whole went.
Kind of saw the progression from year one, like you said, knew was bottom 3, 4, and then second year you guys finished 6th at provincials, and then this year just missed out on the bronze against Humber, finished 4th. But you see that progression all the way through. But it's that I've said it I don't know how many times on this, like that jump from high school to year one. There's so much to figure out, whether it's academics, basketball, who you are as a person, because you're moving 2-3 hours away, if not more for some people. It gets crazy. Like even just going to school in your own town.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, it's just such a big social jump, like basketball jump, like life jump, that it's just, there's so much going on. It's really a hard transition.
Yeah, and then you add a sport in on top of it, and it's just like there's so many things. And being a first year, you want to try and do everything you can, like enjoy like the full college experience. That's tough.
Yep. Out on anything. You don't want any FOMO.
Mm-hmm. Every first year event, you're there. You're doing. You don't want to be the one friend that doesn't go to things, because then you're just on the outside. Then you miss out. You hear all the stories, and it's tough. Like, and then, like I said, you add in college basketball and trying to make that jump from high school.
That was probably my biggest change going from year one to year two. Was year one, probably asked my coach. I went to a couple too many practices with a lot, or like a very small amount of sleep.
Okay.
That I probably shouldn't. And second year, I kind of like cleaned up my act, and I was like, oh, okay, I actually need to get 8 hours of sleep. I need to work out twice a day. I need to go to practice, like ready to go. So
it's tough to find. It's tough to find time in the day to sleep 8 hours, work out twice, practice, film, class. Like sleep is usually the thing that takes the biggest hit, especially first year.
I remember someone telling me when I was in high school that being a student athlete, there's time for sports, school, sleep, and social, and you have to pick 3. So you either don't go to a hangout, you don't get sleep, you don't go to school, or you like sports take the backseat. But.
And if you skip school, you don't play sport. And if you skip social, you miss out on things and you have FOMO. Sleep is the thing that everyone kind of does at late at night. So I mean, if you just kind of skip out on that and you do everything else, like that's college. And you look back on it now and regret all the sleep you missed because I'm just tired all the time. And I blame it on college. But you had fun at the time, and the memories are great, and it is what it is.
It's the saying, you can retake a class, but you can't retake a party.
I've never heard that one. But hey, that's true.
I like that.
You can retake a class. You can't rehab a party. You can't remake a memory that other people were at and you weren't. I guess
if anyone said school, don't listen to that.
Don't listen to that. Go to class. Do your work. Get your 8 hours of sleep. That's what Photoshop's for. You just put yourself in photos and no one knows the difference unless you're bad at it, and then it just looks awkward. Why did you choose Algonquin in the first place? What was it that drew you there?
I feel like one factor was I have an aunt and uncle that live here.
Okay.
My two little cousins. They're both under 10, so wanted to be around them, obviously. And then the other one was the coach that recruited me that was there the year before Jamie, Laura Bond. She's amazing. I love her. She was actually the only coach that came to one of my high school games that I hadn't reached out to first.
Oh, okay.
So I was in high school. It was kind of you email out coaches, tell them when your games are, that sort of thing. And then if they come, they come. And she just kind of came to one of my games and she reached out through the Loyalist coach to get my number and was very interested. And unfortunately, she had a little baby, about a year old, the summer before I came. So she ended up having to step down.
So the family connection was a big one. Being close to family, like you said, you're 2 hours away from home. So it's still close enough that you can come back. It's always nice to have someone show that interest in you. It's one thing to have coaches come out when you email them. It's another thing entirely for them to just come out on their own. Just makes that connection that much stronger and just more personal, really. And it shows that they care. Yeah,
and she immediately, as soon as I spoke with her, she invited me up to their training Tuesday and Thursday all summer. Okay. So I ended up coming, started training with them, and then just fell in love with Ottawa. Also, it's a really nice. So.
I think it's one of those cities that everyone has to visit at some point to understand the beauty. I've never been, and regret it probably.
Where do you live?
Born and raised in London. And
okay.
Now lived in Calgary for 2 years and then now in Sarnia. So I'm getting further away from Ottawa, which makes the drive even longer and more of a hassle to justify going. I need to go the other direction to get closer and kind of make it more worthwhile. I always want to go in the winter, but then driving there in the winter is a lot harder.
Yeah.
It's
probably be better off to fly.
Yeah, but then it's more expensive, and there's pros and cons to both sides. I just gotta move closer to make it a lot easier.
Well, more accessible.
Yes. My wife wants to go, but doesn't want to drive the 7-8 hours, whatever it is, in the winter. Because I don't know, I would try to act like the GPS, and it wouldn't end well. We just bicker the whole way, and it'd be my fault. So I can at least admit it now.
you'd get here and you'd have to get separate B&Bs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd have to take my own car back. I'd be flying back. She'd be driving, or vice versa. We'd figure it out. Once we get some food or escape the canal or whatever, we'd figure it out. But it's just the journey is the toughest part because I'm stubborn as can be. Looking at your progression and, like you said, going from bottom 3 or 4 to 6th to 4th, the East Division kind of doesn't really get the level of attention the West does. Do you think you guys kind of put the East back in the conversation in the OCAA with your regular seasons, your 15-1 back-to-back years, your strong progression and upward trend at provincials? Do you think that's kind of helped shift the narrative a little bit and show the?
I feel like the few years before last year, it kind of was a dark turn of the West is way up here and the East is just scraping by. But I feel like especially this year at provincials, we really showed that we can play with Fanshawe, we can play with Humber. Like both games, full game were like 5 to 10 point games, right? And a lot of the games, a lot of the Fanshawe game, like we were up. Well, I shouldn't say a lot actually, but it was back and forth. I think it's hard because the West has so much more experience playing against each other throughout the whole year. So they get to like compete with each other and actually like get challenged, and they just have more competition overall. But we're kind of like, it's hard because we'll like be beating each team by 20, and it's like, how do we keep going? Like that's the hardest part, to like not take the foot off the gas.
See it in a bit of the national rankings too. I feel like the team was shafted a little bit this year with
we got kicked off there.
Yeah, you fell out, and I don't even know if you had lost to George Brown yet. I think you were still.
We were off the rankings before we lost to George Brown. Yeah. We were undefeated.
Yeah,
and we got knocked off.
Undefeated, and you fall backwards in rankings. I don't know how that makes any sense, but then I think it's little things like that where that shifts the conversation away from the East. And if you're undefeated, that takes a lot. I don't care who you've played. To win that many games consecutively takes something regardless of who you played.
Yeah, for sure.
And if that doesn't get recognized, it's tough. The focus, like obviously with Fanshaw's last 2 years of gold and Humber with their success at nationals in recent years, like obviously more eyes are on the West. But when you have a team that's undefeated fall out of rankings, it doesn't help. It's not right.
Yeah, that was pretty frustrating about that, but there's also motivation.
100%. And I think they don't use the rankings for anything. Like it's more background noise than anything else. But still, it's disrespectful, I'd say.
Yeah, I agree.
Looking at Algonquin now, your 3 years, you're the Thunder. They are now controversially shifting to the Wolves.
Yes.
By way of a vote that had Thunder, Wolves, Grey Wolves, and Good Wolves, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Thunder had, I want to say 49% of the vote.
Yeah, Thunder had 49.
And then the Wolves had like 20 something. And then they combined the other two, saying that more people voted for some rendition of the Wolves, which gave it 51%. And I don't think they've ever come out with a clear answer as to how they twisted the vote to meet someone's hidden agenda to change it to the Wolves?
Exactly. They made a decision prior, and they were going to do whatever they wanted to do to make that the result and make it seem like that was the general consensus of the survey, that this is what people wanted. I personally don't agree. I think, personally, we're Algonquin. We used to be the Cats, and then we shifted to Thunder, and Thunder's been our identity for so long now, and it just is the cherry on top that they had to do the survey.
If
baloney.
Yeah, they should have just done, if they had that hidden agenda already, they should have just done Thunder versus Wolves. Mm-hmm. Just straight up two answers.
Yeah, the other part was those results, the 49 versus the 51,
mm-hmm.
that was the results from the students that completed the survey. The other part was alumni also voted,
mm-hmm.
and staff also voted. The results for both of those votings was, even if Wolves was all combined, Thunder still won for both of those categories.
Mm-hmm.
It's strictly just the student votes combined all the Wolves answers and then took that statistic. And someone already made this decision and already put this through, so
and
it's happening.
They just used the student vote in their release to say, okay, more people voted for some rendition of the Wolves. That also mm-hmm. means that the alumni vote, they don't care about it, so they've completely pushed the alumni side and staff. They've alienated both groups of people, that's not going to bode well
mm-hmm.
for future, because alumni are the ones that give back to programs. Staff are the ones that run your programs and teach your classes. But doing stuff like this and showing that their opinion doesn't matter, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of people who didn't agree with it. I mean, I understand where they came from in the idea to rebrand, mm-hmm. because we're building a new facility, and mm-hmm. it would be the perfect opportunity to rebrand because we're redoing the gym and all that. Mm-hmm. But it just sucks the way they went about it and handled this.
If there was a bit more of an ethical process to it,
mm-hmm.
nobody would have an issue. But there's no transparency. It just reeks hidden agenda from the start. And even if they rebranded Thunder a little bit, tweaked the logo or something, that still would have met their new facility, new look, but keeps the Thunder identity that's been already, I guess, blasted or whatever, selected by the community beforehand. The elders and everyone in the community selected Thunder. They've already been through this process once. Why do it again? And then say that they picked this name, but then it doesn't make sense. I have no idea. It's baffling.
The whole thing doesn't make sense. And it sucks too that it's still going through. There was a petition that went up a few days after they announced it there, and it got over 2,000 signatures, I believe. Mm-hmm. I'd have to go back and check. But I was that's more people that even voted in all those categories combined. They have to be able to see this, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anything else. They're still going through with it. And
I'm gonna try and find the survey right now. I want to see how many people have last signed it, because the number grew quick. There was a lot of people signing it, and
I think it was at least 1,000, or honestly, a couple of days.
Reading comments of it and people saying why they disagree with it. The name has reached so many people, and a lot of it alumni, staff that have been alienated because of the decision. 1,924 signatures.
Okay, not quite 2,000, but so many.
Pretty close. And like you
It
said,
was
that's
like, sorry, it was like under 1,500, I think, that actually completed the voting in the first place.
Yeah, they had the 853 students. Yeah, Thunder was 49%, and then next choice was 29. Alumni was 78%, and staff were 53, all for Thunder.
Yeah.
And they only used the 3 combined Wolves totals from students. When if you use all 3 groups of people, it's not even close.
Not even close.
And
I don't know what to tell.
The Algonquin Thunder, to me, it just sounds better than Algonquin Wolves.
Yeah, and also there was another little side conflict with it because the other college in Ottawa, there's a French college, La Cité, and they're the Coyotes.
Yep.
I believe. And Wolves are pretty close to that.
Yep.
So there were like 2 entities, and I don't know.
I never thought about that. That's this it just gets more interesting.
Stickier and sticky.
You want to create your own identity, but then you make one that's so close to another college in Ottawa. Just redo a logo for Thunder. That's what everyone else does. Just tweak your logo ever so slightly. I don't get it. That's why we're not in the meetings. I guess we don't. Well, I guess you kind of matter. You're a student, so your vote mattered, but everyone else didn't. It just doesn't make sense. But you are now shifting to U Sports.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was that always a goal for you coming out of high school to play U Sports?
Honestly, I never thought my skill level was like, I never thought my skill was at that level. I was always like, oh, like if I go to college, maybe I'll be able to play college ball, continue my basketball career a little bit. And then it wasn't until this year that I started getting universities reaching out to me. And I was like, oh, like university was always in my academic like goals. But basketball was never really that much in the picture.
Okay. So what was it that ultimately led you to say, I want to go to Mount Royal? Like, what was it that convinced you that Mount Royal was the place you wanted to go, both academic and basketball?
Basketball definitely drove me there first. Robin's amazing. You had her a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I listened to that. She was actually the first coach to reach out to me, I believe, first or second. And she would like text me after a bunch of my games and be like, oh, like great game. Like she would always be like watching and like staying up to date with like my season, which I thought was really cool. And then it was after provincials that she like reached out to me, and she was also the first person to offer me a scholarship. And I forget her exact words, but she said something like I really want you to come, and she was like being very convincing. And I was like, oh, I feel needed or I feel wanted. But then I started looking into the school, and I loved it. Like everything about it. It was a really small campus. I've always wanted to go out west. I've never been out there.
Okay.
Let alone live. So we'll see how that goes. And then I started talking to my teammates, and they're all great. And then one of my teammates is also in the program that I'm going into.
Okay.
And like nothing but good things about it. And like I said, the professors were amazing. The classes were small. Every box for me was just getting checked. So
sounds like with like small classes and sounds like it's almost got like that college kind of feel to it. So it from a like academic side of it, like with the smaller campus, small classes, it's not that big of a jump from a college setting. And So you've never been out west before. So this is
Never.
what? Okay, what are you looking forward to most then about moving to Calgary?
The mountains,
Mm-hmm.
hiking,
Mm-hmm.
outdoors, biking, all of the above.
Okay. When I moved out there for 2 years, like just on a whim, I never been out west before. Same thing. The mountains are what, like, you seeing them online is one thing. When you're in them, like totally, it's just totally different. It's something else. Like if you drive into Canmore, driving towards Banff, like you see the mountains going out, and then I don't know, there's one curve that you hit and you turn, and then all of a sudden you're just right there. But in the 2 years I was there, didn't hike, didn't ski, didn't bike, anything at
Really?
all. Never. No, I couldn't bring myself to be like, I want to climb that big rock. Just
I've found myself in situations where that's what I say when I'm outside. I literally point at a rock and I'm like, I want to climb that rock right now. I want to get to the top of it and I want to look out. So I'm like, mountains,
yeah,
my place.
yeah. I think it's like once you get past that like initial doubt, like if I actually would have maybe started one, I would have been fine. Never actually got to the base of one. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. I never got past the initial
Believe that.
conversation. People are like, do you want to go hike? No, I'm good. No, it's okay. And we had one kid, worked at a golf course. So he did 30 summits in 90 days. And
Jeez.
he did one where I don't know if he jumped or fell 6 or 8 feet, fractured his foot. Doctor said he couldn't hike anymore, and he went and hiked the next day. This is craziness. Like 3 a.m. sunrise hikes, and then come back and work in the afternoon. And then do it all again the next day. Ridiculous. But there's so much that outdoors stuff to do. And then you also have to go to the Stampede.
Yeah, I'll probably end up finding my way to the Stampede.
When it's on.
I feel like it's, yeah, I think hopefully it'll be on next summer.
Hopefully everything is on next summer.
Yeah, we can only hope at this point. We don't really know what's going to go on. Could be 2 years. Could be.
Don't say that. Don't.
Knock on wood.
We're gonna have to resort to hiking for 2 years, and I don't hike. Sauna's gonna be stuck inside for 2 years. The Stampede's one of those things that you have to do once. I think you have to like see it and be like, okay, yeah, I was at the Stampede, and then even if you're not into the rodeo or whatever, just to say you've been, and I mean, it's fun. I'm not country either.
Yeah.
I'm city as they come. So I stood out like a sore thumb. But just to say it was there, it was like people are in flannel and like plaid, everything. Oh no.
Nobody questions.
I kind of wore it was cooler, so I just wore like a standard like blue long sleeve sweater. Like it was the most city outfit you could find in a sea of plaid. Even with a cowboy hat, it wouldn't have helped.
Yeah.
From a basketball standpoint, though, what are you most looking forward to going to the U Sports level to kind of continue your development and just make that jump to the next level?
I'm excited for like just more competition, but also like seeing how the Can West like style of play is. Like I've heard it's a little bit different. I've watched a lot of film in the last few months, and I'm kind of excited to like adapt. I'm very much like a defensive player, my specialty. So I'm excited to like play at the next level and like actually have like more competition in the post. Like I think there was like this season in college, there's only like a few girls that like really stunned me that I was like, all right, it's gonna be a long game.
Yeah.
But I thrive on like having that offensive competition towards me, and I'm just excited in general.
It's just a new challenge across the board, making that jump now from the college to university, from OCAA to Canada West, where there's, like you said, a lot more competition. It seems like every team has 1, 2, or 3 solid post players that every game is a challenge. Where college, it's some teams do, some teams don't. There's not that competition, and it's always tough when you know going into a game there's not that competition at your position. It's always a bit tougher to get yourself going and kind of motivated to play, because like you said, you thrive on that competition. If you know it's not going to be there, is that tough for you to get yourself going, ready for a game?
Yeah, like a lot of the season games where there would be like certain teams that just didn't have like that one strong post player or like 3 player or whatever, like whoever I was guarding, if they weren't like that strong, I would always find I just kind of have a meh game. Like it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. Like I don't know, my best games that I've had are games that I was like challenged on the defensive end, like when I was on defense. That is being able to like shut down a player that's been averaging 20 points a game, like gives you a little bit of motivation and adrenaline to be able to work on offense also. And
that kind of feeds down through the team too. If you're doing that on the defensive end and holding their star player to far below their production, and defensive stops lead to offensive opportunities for the team, and that energy kind of feeds down through the team. And
especially my team this year, we've fed off each other 100%. Someone got and one, the whole team was hype, and the whole team was ready to go on the next play. Someone stuffed someone. That's on their least on the bench.
That's the atmosphere you want on a bench. And when you don't have that competition at your position, it'd be tough to get going. And it's one thing to defend well against a player who's kind of average, run of the mill, but then you get a star player and you keep them in check. The energy level is so different.
Oh, and it feels so good.
It is like it shows that you're doing so, like, you're playing your best game and they're playing theirs, and you're coming out on top. Like it's no better feeling than beating somebody at their best. It's
damn fun. Basketball, man.
It's adrenaline. Just put that in your veins all day long.
Yeah.
But you look at the Canada West, like you said, you're watching a lot of film. Like every team's got a post. Like it's a lot more size, a lot more size.
Yeah.
And that's
the thing. I don't think I came across anyone this season. Actually at provincials, maybe a couple girls that had like an inch or 2 on me, maybe. But I never like have had to play against that height. I'm gonna have to adjust.
Yeah.
Which scared and excited for.
Like if you weren't scared, I think I'd be concerned a little bit, because obviously it is a challenge and you want to be kind of, it's almost like scared in a good way. Like you challenge yourself and it's going to be different for sure.
Yeah.
But it's also show, like you said, you've been watching film for the last who knows how long since quarantine started. Not much else we can do.
Way too much. I think I've probably watched them all by now. I have a notebook with all the players at each team.
Wow.
I have a spare time on my hands.
Hey, at least you put it to good use. And when this ends and we get back on the floor, like stuff like that, it's going to separate the good players from the great players. There's going to be a big gap. Like some people didn't put in any work, and then they're going to come back not ready. And then there's players like yourself who notebooks on players. And teammates are going to probably read them too now. They're going to want to and see what other players are doing. Like, you had all this free time and you put it to good use. Others didn't. And that's crazy, though. Notes on every player. Damn.
It's a tendencies thing. You just got to figure them out as a player, and
Yeah.
it's a lot easier to defend and get under their skin and
I'm
play
sure.
well against them.
I'm sure Robin will be coming for those notes for game plans when the season starts.
He's gonna be like, "What does this word mean? What is this acronym?"
You're just going to lead film sessions now on the forwards, and then she'll just kind of sit back and try to catch up on all your abbreviations and just try and
I'm gonna go up with my PowerPoint.
get your little clicker and your smart board, whiteboard markers, and everything. I don't know what Robin brings into her sessions, but just replicate what she brings in one day. Just the exact same, and just kind of follow behind and just do what she does. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
You said you've been talking to some of the teammates, and obviously ones in your program. You kind of got to know them a little bit. How have you fared in your minute to win it challenge on Instagram?
All right, so I've been slacking a little bit, a lot of it. So I work like 12-hour days. So between like working out and like, eating and sleeping and working, I'm gonna be honest, I don't have too much time to do the minute to win it.
Okay.
So I have other priorities, but I've done a couple.
Mm-hmm.
I did the first one. It was like the cookie on the face challenge. Put it on your forehead, have to like get it down to your mouth.
Yeah.
And not my forte. Not too good with that one at all. Some people got it in like 4 seconds. I don't understand how a lot of them do any of this, but I won the card one. As soon as I saw that one was happening, I was like, I don't need to go to the store and get anything. It'll take me a couple minutes.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to win this one, and then I'm good to like focus for a couple more weeks.
Once you get one in the books, then it's just kind of like, okay, because you don't want to win. Yeah. You don't want to win too many of them. You want to let kind of everybody have a chance. So.
Oh yeah, you want to be fair, let others have. I didn't want to win them all. So.
Exactly. Get yours out of the way early, and then just kind of sit back and observe and see how everyone else does. Let them get their own win. The bloopers are funny though.
Are literally in the top 3 every week, and I'm like,
let someone else have a chance. Come on now. Those are the ones that aren't taking their notes, watching film all the time.
Yeah, I'm gonna show up, and they're gonna be like, with the minute to win it trophy, and I'm gonna show up with my binder. No, I'm just kidding.
You should though.
I wish I did more of them, but they're fun.
They're fun to watch. Like I love the bloopers that come up.
Yeah,
because you can see people's care just slowly dwindle as the clock gets less and less, or closer to a minute, and the card throwing. You can see people. The more they miss, the more deflated.
Oh, the bloopers are really bad. So people just, you can just see their faces just melt.
Like it's funny to start, then I feel bad. Like I don't know why they had to show that long of a blooper, and should have just showed the start, not the end, where all the cards are on the outside or the cookies just all over the floor or whatever's going on. But
it's Abby, my one teammate, was doing the card throwing one. She like threw one like a frisbee, and it went like straight into the ground, like 2 feet in front of her. I could not stop laughing. I had to watch it like 10 times.
You got to do like a little like how-to technique video with your. I think you had like 45 or like 47 cards or something like that.
Something like that, 40-something.
Like you only missed like 5.
I think I had 2 decks, but I didn't get through. So I think I had like 60 cards that I threw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't do minute to win it. So I don't do a whole lot. I'm discovering now that we go through.
You should try it.
I
Just
should.
pick
Like,
one. The card one's easy. You just need a bowl and a
maybe I should
deck of
go
cards.
through. I should go through your team's 8 challenges and try and recreate them myself.
Yeah, we should.
Try and make the Mount Royal blooper reel. People can see how much I struggle with card throwing or trying to hit a ball across the floor with a banana or whatever else you guys have had to do. Like, it's got
Some
to be fun.
interesting stuff.
It's fun to kind of get everybody involved when it's nothing else to do in
Yeah,
quarantine.
it's nice coming together, but like even though we can't be together,
Mm-hmm. Still,
which I can't physically be there anyways, even if we could get together.
that's true. And it's nice to have that competition. Like your one now is defying gravity. Blow up 4 balloons. Keep all 4 balloons in the air for a full minute. Huh. Says you
I
can't
haven't
use.
submitted that.
Says you can't use helium though, so that's not fair.
Well, that would
I'd
be
win.
a
I'd win for sure.
fair.
I don't have balloons. I'll have to give it a try though. I'll have to find a way to. I wonder if Robin will let me in one just for fun.
Yeah, we'll have to have a little end of the blooper reel.
Starring me. Just absolutely atrocious. Like balloons everywhere. Everything's falling over. Or have to do the next timed one. Like I'll try and set a time and see if someone can beat it. It'd be easy. I'd be over a minute for sure. No confidence in myself at all at minute to win it. What's next for you? Like what's the end goal career-wise? After obviously that's still 2 years away. What is your end goal? Like, what's next for you?
I mean, like, the next natural step for me would be, like, I don't know if it's even realistic or anything, but my goal is to be able to be, like, drafted to go out to Euroball.
Okay.
Go there's not really too much, like, women's basketball opportunity past post-secondary in Canada. So.
Yeah, I don't think there's nothing.
There's a lot of opportunity in Europe, though, and I love Europe. So that would be the next goal for me. But if that doesn't work out, I definitely want to get into coaching. I feel like why I'm such a good player is not attested to my athletic ability whatsoever. Like I work hard to be able to excel, but it's mostly like my basketball IQ, and I think if I can't like thrive as a player past youth sports level, then I definitely want to get into coaching.
Is there a place in Europe that you'd like to play?
Everywhere. Anywhere?
Anywhere and everywhere.
Anywhere, everywhere.
It'd be nice to have a professional league in Canada for women. We've had some issues even with the men's leagues. Like the
NBL,
NBL,
that's what's hard is the men's league doesn't even thrive here, so it's even harder to get into women's league.
Like the NBL Canada, it's on its last legs, I think. The CEBL, they're trying to do a full 2 weeks in Niagara this year to try and salvage anything. But again, I think their distance is too big of an issue with 4 in Ontario and then Saskatchewan, Edmonton, and BC. That's a lot of travel. Like for 7 teams, like you can't. To me, from the outside, it doesn't seem like it's feasible.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's why I'm on the outside, not the inside. But like even a WNBA team or something in Canada would help the women's game immensely.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And,
Toronto. Been talked about so many times. It would do amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The amount of overlooked women's basketball players. in Canada or even in the States, that there's not enough. There's not enough North American women's basketball.
Could you imagine having a Toronto WNBA team with someone like Kia Nurse or Bridget Carlton or Ruth Hamblin or whoever playing at home?
It'd be crazy.
It would be
and like Toronto has
insane.
the best in the NBA, and it would translate straight to women's basketball. I know it.
It would be. I want to say it'd be an easy sell, which I think it would be, especially with the women's team having the success they've had recently on the national stage. You get any of those women playing at home, it's done. It's such an easy sell. And I don't know why it's taken so long and we don't have one.
This seems like the next natural step, and it just hasn't been taken.
You would think it should only be a matter of time, but it's been
fingers works, and we don't even know.
It's been a matter of time for how many years? Now's the time, please. And then we grow off that and have our own women's professional league and keep more North American talent and Canadian talent in Canada and stop making them go play in Australia or Europe or God knows where just to play. Let them pursue their basketball dreams at home.
At home.
It'd be nice.
It'd be so nice.
I'd go watch. 100%.
I'd go play.
There you go. See?
I don't go play.
I think there's a lot of people who would go play. And then for women in general, like the young girls coming up, if they can't see it, they can't dream it. They have the women's basketball in Canada outside of U Sports and CCAA. That's the highest you go.
Yep.
After that, if you want to play professional, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to go from like the U Sport level straight to WNBA. So you have to like look into something like going overseas. And for some people, that's just not what they want. It's North America's home. They don't want to leave, or they don't have the exposure to get out there, or whatever it may be. There's not too many opportunities for women.
The exposure is a whole other thing. The exposure is a whole other thing. Like that.
Oh yeah.
Is so far below where it should be. It gets ridiculous. And not many people even cover basketball in Canada to begin with, let alone women's. Like the conversation stops at men. And that can't happen either.
I'm hoping there's like some sort of I don't know the words I'm looking for here, but the Raptors winning last year. I'm hoping that it's already brought so much more attention to Canadian basketball. Hopefully starts rolling the ball.
Only time will tell. And we've been asking for it for a while. There's an appetite for it. Just
I'm definitely not holding it.
No, don't do that. Someone's got to make it happen, but it's long overdue. From coverage standpoint, from a league or a team, more options, more visibility. All of it's long overdue. All of it. Any last words from you on what you've got going on now? Anything from Algonquin we missed? Anything from Calgary and Mount Royal you're excited for that we haven't touched on? Leave the last word to you.
I don't think so. I think we covered some good topics.
We kind of hit the good of Algonquin, the shady of Algonquin, and discovered that I don't do much of anything. From hiking, cycling, minute to win it, I need to diversify my activity options, if you will. Again,
outdoors. It's really hot. Gotta get out.
It's too hot right now. But only time will tell what activities I do. I'm not holding my breath though. Not much is gonna happen.
Not either,
no, probably for the best. Yeah, just that you hike for me, and I'll just you make up for the hikes I didn't do. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Done. Perfect. Well, Sierra, I want to thank you for doing this. It was a lot of fun to learn about your career and what you're looking forward to in Calgary. And once you get out there, get settled, do it again and see how you adjust to life on the West Coast and how you survived your first few hikes and climbing big rocks for fun.
Hopefully I'll be able to reflect on a team trip. Apparently they do that, so I'm super excited. Hopefully we get to do that this year. I'll have stories, hopefully.
That's what Robin was saying too. They had drag them all on a canoe trip, and you just got to figure it out.
The teammates there have not been in the wilderness or outside of their city, to be more exact. But
it shows everyone's true colors. I would be that one that hasn't been out of their city or in the wilderness. The one that everyone else is just dragging along for fun. But we'll have to reflect on that. We'll reflect on the trips see hopefully every teammate survives and they don't want to quit the team because they don't like the wilderness. But thank you again for doing this. And anytime you want to do it again, we'll do it for you.
Sounds good. Thank you for having me.